Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for convening the hearing today. Thank you to our panelists. And my first question is for Ms. Nelson. I do want to share with my colleagues, as I'm sure many of you have, I dealt with a lot of our nation's labor leaders during since the inception of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I can tell you that Ms. Nelson was so engaged from day one with me, with my staff, and so many of my colleagues, looking after the people that she represents and all people working across the country, including our flight attendants, including the airlines themselves. And I want to thank her for her service. So, Ms. Nelson, if you are still with us, I've been a strong supporter of the Payroll Support Program. And I wanted you, if you could, to share with the committee here what would have happened to the airline industry if Congress had not provided that relief. I think that's important for everyone to hear, given the need to ongoing support that.
Congressman Fitzpatrick, thank you so much. In March, if this had not been put in place, the airline industry simply would have collapsed. We would have seen many airlines going out of business. The drop off in demand was so severe, 97% drop off, that many airlines were in jeopardy of not meeting payroll within a couple of weeks, if not within a couple months. So this saved the airlines and the ability to continue to provide this service for the American public and these jobs. But in addition to that, the Payroll Support Program that we put in place was specifically a workers first program and supported only those workers' jobs, made sure that there was no cuts to hourly rates, made sure that we continued service to all the communities, and we did the opposite of what a normal corporate bailout would do. We capped executive compensation and banned stock buybacks. So it was workers first all the way around. It saved jobs, kept us connected to our healthcare, and all of the things that we need to continue for the rest of our working lives. Social Security contributions to our retirement and pensions. And these are things that we're not going to have to burden the rest of the public with, because Congress acted in a bipartisan fashion to put this Workers First program in place.
Yeah, I will say I strongly believe PSP needs to be extended to ensure that aviation workers have some stability during a really uncertain time. Ms. Nelson, if you could share with us what more can be done aside from extending the PSP to support those who work in the aviation sector?
We can make sure, actually, that we are implementing the 2018 FAA reauthorization bill, and that we are making sure that airline workers have proper access to PPE. So, for example, flight attendants fill the two-person rule in the cockpit when one of the pilots needs to come out. We also need those secondary barriers to keep us safe during this time. But we need to make sure that the flight attendants who are fulfilling that secondary person in the cockpit are able to have an N95 mask, because the pilots cannot always wear masks in the cockpit in order to properly communicate with ATC. So that is another thing that could be done, and that is a hole right now that needs to be filled.
Thank you, Ms. Nelson. Thank you for all of your support for the workers across America. You are a champion for them.